Well, hello, folks, and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining my channel. Let's talk about what's going on in New York City and all this buzz we're hearing. The $10,000 free debit cards and gift cards to illegal immigrants in New York City. So on this topic, I did some research and I kind of prepared, very similar to the previous video I did. I prepared by creating a write-up, kind of highlights, and I want to cover each of those highlights, and as I believe as correct, fact-based, and applicable to the situation. Again, the topic is $10,000 free cash by New York City Mayor Eric Adams to all those illegal immigrants in New York City. So let me start with my bullet points on my document that as I created as highlights. New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced his plan to give prepaid debit cards worth up to $10,000 each to migrants that enter the United States illegally. The debit card scheme will cost billions of dollars to taxpayers, and in addition to that, it has no financial controls or oversight to ensure that these funds are not mishandled. So I realized that many of you were surprised and were shocked to hear about this, and you were not aware of this, of course, as it does not make headlines in the mainstream media, and we understand why so. I thought I would share more details with you today so that you know what's going on and where your tax dollars are going. Actually, there are two issues here. The first one is giving out free tax dollars to individuals who cross the border illegally. That means breaking the law, breaking the U.S. law. And they are being rewarded for them to break the law. And the second issue is how Mayor Adams awarded a multi-million-dollar contract to service these debit cards to a private third party instead of a state authority. Many are calling this to be investigated even on corruption charges, and I would say rightfully so. This debit card program, if you read the actual contract, has the potential to become an open-ended multi-billion-dollar Bermuda Triangle of disappearing untraceable cash used for any purpose. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is issuing prepaid debit cards of up to $10,000 each in taxpayer funds to illegal migrants. And here's the catch. To receive these prepaid debit cards, there will not be, I repeat, that's right, there will not be any ID checks. There will not be any restrictions. And of course, there are no fraud controls. Therefore, there is absolutely zero accountability. Therefore, effectively, a person can receive multiple debit cards. Again, there will not be any ID checks. I assume since they don't have IDs and New York City is not really directed to do any sort of identity verification, reportedly a migrant family of four could get up to $15,200 per year of taxpayer cash, while a single migrant could receive up to $345 per month. Again, I repeat, because of no ID checks, these numbers can multiply by several times. For example, Daily Mail is reporting a family of migrants with two children under the age of 17 could be given up to $15,200 per year under New York City Mayor Eric Adams' $53 million debit card scheme. The name of this program is the Immediate Response Card, to issue these debit cards to migrants. That's they came up with a name, Immediate Response Card. Mayor Adams, Eric Adams, chose to partner with the New Jersey bank Mobility Capital Finance. This is a privately owned financial services company that will bear sole responsibility for receiving $53 million in taxpayer funds, to be exact, from the state of New York, and will then distribute this money in the form of prepaid debit cards to persons who cross the United States border illegally, according to a Manhattan Institute article. The contract itself includes fee provisions for spending more than $150 million. So that amount, initially calculated as or estimated as $53 million, it can go ahead and up to and exceed $150 million. This program is initiated by none other than New York City Mayor Adams. Now a little bit about the New Jersey bank that Mayor Adams is using to distribute this cash despite numerous qualified financial services providers in New York City. The Housing Preservation and Development Department only considered one candidate, and that is Mobility Capital Finance. There was no bidding process involved. Traditionally, there would be a bidding process, and a company with the lowest bid, or one that is owned by a group of individuals that would receive preference from the state, would win that bid. This was not the case here. There was no bidding process. Absolutely no involved. So Adams approved without a bid the $53 million contract debit card project instead of allowing a state entity that typically distributes assistance take over this initiative. So he's allowing a private entity to profit off his plan to give out hard-earned taxpayers' money to those who broke the immigration law. This plan in and of itself serves as a reward for breaking U.S. laws. Reportedly, the $53 million contract was reviewed by CBS New York, and as it turns out, this private financial services entity will make millions of dollars for actually handing out debit cards to illegal immigrants. CBS reported the following amounts that Mobility Capital Finance will receive from the state of New York. Let's take a look. They will receive, again, Mobility Finance will receive $125,000 as a one-time setup fee. Then they will receive $250,000 in annual management fees. And then they will receive, on top of all that, fees based on how much money is distributed to migrants. That'll be $1.5 million for the first $50 million handed out in debit cards, and $2.5 million for the next $100 million handed out in prepaid debit cards. Effectively, millions in taxpayer funds will be distributed by a third-party entity to migrants without any controls or any oversight whatsoever. This program will be fully rolled out after the initial pilot test run, which will include 500 families at the Roselle Hotel and could eventually include up to 6,500 families, illegal immigrant families in New York City. So this is the highlights, the summary that I wanted to share with you, and I'd like to also get your opinion. Again, I'm kind of wrapping up here real briefly. Up to 6,500 illegal immigrants are being literally rewarded by Mayor Adams in New York City for breaking the law and entering the United States illegally. They are not only being provided services such as housing, shelters, food, and accepting them, every single one of them being illegal. On top of all that, the financial provisions have been handled the way I just described as a reward for breaking the law. Thank you for watching my program.